Hello all! Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Sarah. I live in Northeast Ohio, just east of Cleveland, if you're at all familiar with the area. I have exciting stuff to talk about today. I actually have some finished objects and I have started some gift knits. So I'm really excited to have a little knit chat with you all. You may notice I'm in a new space. I normally record from my office, which is down in our lower level, and I can't record from there right now because I can't even get to my desk chair because the room is a horrible mess. My office is attached to a storage room that we have, and we are currently in the middle of reorganizing it. We got some nice like cabinets and things to be able to just better organize all of our things in the room. So my husband built them all this weekend. I emptied the room out. So the empty storage room is now filling my office, and I now have the dreaded task of putting everything where it needs to go. So I just kindly shut that door off and didn't feel like dealing with that today. So here we are up here. This is the main floor of our home, and this is a nice little it was intended to be a little breakfast nook. I have a small dining room table right here. That was my mother's, and I bought some great little benches and all that. It's just really become my knitting nook, and I'm 100% okay with that too. So I spend a lot of time here in the mornings when I have time to have some coffee and just either have some time of reflection or knitting time or listening to my audiobooks or what have you. I have been finding that I spend a lot of my time here. This is also the room in our home that has the most natural light, so I just really enjoy that as well. Anyway, other fun things though that have been going on, we were in the, I don't know the right terminology, but we were able to see the eclipse yesterday in totality, or the totality of the solar eclipse, or whatever that verbiage is. We were right in the path of it, which we knew, and obviously because they know those things. So we got to see that. The kids were actually all off school yesterday because there was going to be such an influx of traffic and of people and travelers and all that. For safety reasons, they just decided to close the school. So we all got to go outside and see that, and it was super cool. I have experienced one other solar eclipse. It was a time when I was at work, and so I was able to peek out through a window and see it, but it was really cool to be able to be outside and experience it with my kids too, because supposedly, if we read correctly, or if I understood my husband correctly, the next solar eclipse that will be in our path is not going to be for 75 years. So, not to be negative, but who knows if any of my kids will. Anyway, maybe once in a lifetime experience, I guess, is the light way that I'm trying to say that. So it's just really cool. It was really, really cool to be able to have that time with them, and make them be outside for a minute, because it was also beautiful yesterday. It was sunny and 72 or 3 it ended up getting up to be. So it was amazing weather. Today's actually also going to be super nice out too. Supposedly it's going to be 76 or something today. So when I'm done with this, I'm probably going to, I need to make some lunch. My stomach is already growling, and maybe be outside for a bit. I have you can maybe see right here, a window pane sort of thing. This is a sliding glass door that goes out to my enclosed patio, which is my most favorite place in my entire house. And with it being so nice today, I think I'm going to head outside and get it cleaned up. It still has, winter wear on it. It needs cleaned and dusted and vacuumed and all that kind of stuff. So I might head out there this afternoon and do that. It's going to be getting cooler again in the high 50s, or I don't know, 50s, high 40s. I don't remember what it is. But anyway, today is the nicest day of the week. So I'm super excited to have the day off also. So gonna maybe do that. I don't know why I started talking about all that. But anyway, let's get into knitting. I have 2 pairs of socks that I finished, and I'm really happy to have them done because I feel like they were just way too long on my needles. Socks I can normally get done in about a week or two depending on how much I focus on them, and these have both been since like March, I think. No, that wouldn't make sense. That was just last month. I don't remember, but they were a really, really long time ago. So I'm so glad to have them done. First up are the socks that I was trying to, for myself, they're vanilla socks. And I was trying to use as much of a 100-gram ball as I could. And I am sad because I didn't do better, actually. I thought that I would be cutting it really, really close. This is what I ended up with at the very, very end. And so these ended up weighing in at 86 grams. So I have 14 grams left over. I thought I mathed it out better because I really wanted to see how close I could get. But either way, they're done, and they're super long socks, and I love long socks, and I'm just happy to have them. I love the fabric of these two. They're I don't think I have it with me anymore, but they're a Lion brand sock ease in the colorway Aviation, and they're very it's not woolly. What is it that people say? Rustic. They're rustic feeling, so they're not like a soft sock, and I thoroughly enjoy socks that feel like this. This little progress keeper is where I was the last video. So as you can see, like I really did not have that much to do. I just had the bottom of the foot, the toe, and then both afterthought heels. And I matched them up. I cannot be much happier with how do I show these? I have said before that I'm very particular about making sure things match up correctly, like especially when they're stripes. So I tried very hard to make sure that they were all the same. And then the heels, this is the heel. You can't even really see it that great, but okay, whatever. The heels are off by just like a couple rows. So I can't even be mad about it. The majority of the sock match very well. Actually, maybe even exactly, dare I say. I think it maybe was just how I picked up for the heel. But super glad to have these done. So glad. And I mean, 86 grams for a pair of my socks is like, I just didn't realize how much more, I guess I just didn't really equate how many grams to actual yarn it was. My socks are generally 70, 72 grams. So I added basically 16 grams to a sock, and it was like way bigger. And I love them. I love them very much. I can't wait to wear them. Both of these socks still need blocked. I just, I had finished them yesterday and didn't have time to get them washed and dried before I wanted to record today. So I'm going to do that with these. The second pair of completed socks are the Luna socks, which are a pattern by Summerly Knit, available in her new book. If you have not gotten it, oh my God, I just love it so much. I cannot wait to knit all the socks from there. Anyway, so these are the Luna socks that I made for my grandma. Look at how cute her little feet are. She's only a like US size like 6. So these should not have taken me as long as they did. So there's just a nice little, very nice, easy to remember texture pattern on the front, and then obviously the back is just, or the bottom of the foot is just stockinette. These were a colorway by Nanette Wake Studios. I really love her yarn a lot. And then I did some shorties for my grandma. She wears shorty socks. So as with all my projects come complications. No matter how simple the project is, no matter how much I try not to have complications, obviously. I have never done a shorty sock before, so I really lend into other patterns to find out how many rows and like what that even looked like. So I ended up doing 10 rows for a 2x2 cuff, and then I think I did 8 rows of pattern for the rest of the leg before splitting for the foot. I don't know how they'll fit her, like even height wise, because they just do seem really, really short to me, but I don't wear short socks. So I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. Also, hilariously, this isn't hilarious, but I just kept knitting, and then finally like actually looked at the foot of these and realized that they looked like my size feet socks. So I had knit several inches too long and had to rip back those several inches. And I was really frustrated with myself a lot. But that's what happens when you don't pay attention. So not unusual for me, but they're done. Oh, these ended up, so I was doing magic loop 2 at a time with these because I had only bought a 50-gram hank, and so I split the ball in 2 and was doing them 2 at a time so that I could make sure that they were exactly the same and that I wouldn't run out of yarn, or if I did, it was in the same place kind of thing. And I'm super excited to say I did not run out of yarn. These ended up weighing in at I wrote it down, 44 grams out of a 50-gram hank. So I only have this much left over. This ended up weighing in at about 7 grams. So the hank was a little bit more than 50. But yeah, I was super excited. I don't know why this one's so much bigger because I did split them in half. But anyway, so I succeeded with both of my socks, I guess. I was trying to use as much as I could of it and not run out of yarn for my grandma's. And I did it. I did buy a similar colorway to my grandma's socks. It's not the same one, but it's similar, for socks for myself, because I did want to make myself some shorties just to see if I liked shorties, like in hand knits. So I do know now for mine, I will definitely have to supplement some yarn. What I think I'll probably do is just knit them with heel flap and gusset and just go until they run out. And then I'll just add in like a contrast color for my toe. I thought that might be a little fun. So those are, I don't know, not even like in my mind as to when I'm going to start them. But anyway, so those are my 2 finished objects. I'm so excited. I feel like a real knitter, actually, like the last few episodes, having finished objects, because I just feel like I don't normally. But anyway, moving on to the whip that you all know about is my Thursday night whip, which is the lightweight Raglan pullover, a free pattern by Purl Soho. I am using their yarn. It is, you'd think I'd remember the name of it by now. Sweetgrass. Is it sweet? Yes. Sweetgrass. It is an alpaca cotton blend, and it is in the colorway buckwheat beige. I wanted a neutral for it, and I'm pretty happy with the progress. Again, I only knit this on Thursdays at my knit night with my girlfriend. So I was here at the last video, so I got that much done. I don't know. I know you can't tell how much that is, but it's like a few solid inches. I think that I'm to the I'm to the elbow, maybe even past the elbow, maybe. So hopefully, I think I'm almost done with the increases. And once that's done, it'll go by so much faster because I won't have to keep track of counting. So I might even be past my elbow. I think I might be past my elbow. That's uber exciting. So it's going really well. I like the yarn a lot. No complaints about it or anything like that. I'm hoping some of my stitches look a little weird. I'm hoping that that'll all block out okay. I usually don't have an issue with laddering on DPNs. You know, but whatever. So that's that. That's exciting. I really would love to have the sleeve done this Thursday. And I'm usually at her house for a good several hours too. So I think I want to have the sleeve done. Okay, new cast-ons. It's time to talk new cast-on, and I'm so excited. Okay, so again, my projects always come with problems, self-induced problems. So I will talk about those. First up, I'm making a seed stitch scarf for my son, my youngest son. He's in 2nd grade, for his teacher. I had spoke about this before. So the very short story is he wanted to try to learn how to knit over Christmas break. We did a little bit. He didn't want to keep up with it. We're going to take more time to practice probably over the summer. He wanted to learn to knit to make his teacher a scarf. Well, he wanted to learn to knit, and I suggested he try to knit his teacher a scarf for an end of the year present. So we're past the time that he's going to be able to do that. He picked out the yarn, asked me to make the scarf. So that is what I'm doing. I wanted to do a simple seed stitch. I had forgotten how much I love seed stitch until I was doing, I was finishing up a WIP, the Mama in a Stitch Cosmo Texture Wrap, I think it's called. And there's part of the pattern is seed stitch. And I just really just love a seed stitch. Anyway, so I'm using an acrylic yarn. It's the Caron Colorama Halo Perfect Phasing, I think is the whole ginormous title of it, in the colorway Blue Raspberry. It's called Blue Raspberry. You can trust me. So the problem with this, the problem with this. So I wanted to do a fringe on it. I had found just a very basic pattern to like lend ideas from, because again, I'm not good at originating my own thoughts and patterns and ideas. I would just much rather follow an established pattern. So I had done it, and I actually did go off kilter a little bit. I casted on a few more stitches than what the pattern recommended. I started with 25. I did 25 stitches to start, and I was doing it, and it was flying, right? Because it's seed stitch, easy. It's like a scarf, no big deal. And I'm using big needles. I'm using 6 millimeters, which are, so a US 10. So honker needles, bulky yarn flying by. But then I'm going and I'm literally, oh no, I had it, the scarf was like down to here, and I had it halfway around my neck, like all the way around and to the front. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is like halfway of like what the rest of the wrap scarf would be, right? And I wasn't even through one of the color changes yet. So I was like, oh no. And I wanted to use the whole cake because what am I going to do with the rest of the cake? So just a reminder. So this is what it looks like. There is pink on the outside. It did not come this way. It's because of how I rewrapped it. I had to rip back. I ripped the whole thing out is my point. Because I just needed it to be wider. And I don't mind making a scarf extra long by any means, but I just wasn't super happy with like the width of it anyway. But I was like going, because I was like, it's just a scarf. It doesn't really matter. But then I was like, but it does, because it's a gift knit and I want it to be nice and appropriate. So I ripped it all back. I had also previously pre-cut some fringes because I think I already said that. I want to do fringes on the end. But what I did was I cut more because I was casting on more, making it wider. So I have my color 1 here, and then the cake ends with this color. So I'm hoping it won't look too weird. I was gonna do, like this at the pink beginning end and then this at the blue end, so that they at least matched the colors that they ended with. If it looks weird, I just won't do it, or maybe I'll mix the fringes and have like, purple and blue be on one end and purple and blue be on the other end. Whatever. I just wanted to make sure I had it so that if I wanted to use it, I could. So my fringes are all cut, and then this is as far as I am right now. So this is 31 stitches, because you can't have seed stitch. You can. Anyway, it's 31 stitches. I just wanted to keep with an odd number so that each of my rows were exactly the same, like starting with a knit and ending with a knit stitch. So I think it'll be nice. It's good. I like the width of it a lot better than previous. And this is as far as I am. This has not been like a priority knit or anything like that. His school ends, I have like 6 weeks basically to get this done. So this will be probably maybe like car knitting or something like that, because it's pretty easy to travel with for right now. So this is what I'm starting with. This is how it's going. We'll be good. I don't know if I'll end up being able to use the entire cake. It might end up just being like way too much, and we'll see. Because there's quite a bit in these cakes. There's 481 yards or 440 meters. So that's pretty hefty. We'll see how it goes. Next up, I want to talk about this gift knit. I decided to do the Moby Sweater by PetiteKnit for my cousin, who I'm going to knit a cabled sweater for Christmas. My only cabling experience is on a pair of socks. So not only am I doing a cabled sweater, but the Moby Sweater is a complete texture sweater. But I knew I had time to do it because it's going to be for Christmas, and it's April right now, and I knew it would be slow going, and I wanted it to be slow going. I wanted to be able to concentrate on it. So I did take a peek really quickly through other patterns on Ravelry before I for sure decided and bought the Moby sweater. And it's just what kept coming, I kept coming back to. So I listened, and that's where that's what I did. I'm using, for reference again, I'm using Lion Brand Respun. It's a 100% polyester recycle yarn in the colorway Alpine. This is a pretty good representation of it. It's like a very, very beautiful bluey green Alpine color, honestly. And I will tell you a couple things. Let me show you where I am, because I'm pretty proud of my progress so far. So I started this last night, and I have, you know, a good solid few inches done. I just thought that I had finished the short rows. Yes, I said thought. Look at it, there's my little cable starting. You guys, look at that. I'm really excited. I really hope that's focusing. I'm really excited. The detail on this is really, I even love this little just like column, which is like, yeah, I don't know. It's really cool, and I'm actually really proud of myself. So the issues with this pattern, my issues with this pattern is when I printed it out, I almost pooped in my pants, because it is like 20 something pages, and there are instructions, and of course there are charts. I've never used a chart before, okay? So, and I knew this was gonna be a lot. I knew it would be a lot, but like, wow. So, I mean, I've just never knit something like this before. It is gonna be a beast. And like the moment I get comfortable with it, a few rows in to my comfort, I realize I messed something up. So I have had to rip this back a lot and fix a lot of stitches, because I've somehow like reversed if it was a left leaning or a right leaning or a cable in the back, cable in the front. I have made a lot of very, I would say, very careless mistakes. I also have to, there's parts of the pattern where you have to look at the chart and follow written instructions that are not different, but like if you've knit it before, or I'm sure if you've knit like any textured sweater, it's like this. So I got to a comfort point where I was just going off of the chart, but then I think I was still supposed to be shaping my short row because I wasn't following the written pattern anymore. So now I'm a couple rows. I think I've made a few rows of I think my last 2 rows are a mistake. So I have to rip those back, but I don't want to sound like dumb. I'm just also really confused. I'm at a point of mass confusion. So I think that I need to just like take a step back. I need to look at my chart, look at the written instructions, and actually figure out exactly what like row I'm on and where that correlates to the written instructions, because I think I mucked it up. I think. But maybe not too bad. But I can't even guess, because I really don't know. I really don't know. But I do like the yarn. It's easy to work with. I really do like the way it is, you know, you can see like the texture of the stitches. I was worried that the yarn would be really too dark to be able to see these details, but then I looked at her sample, and it's like in a really, really dark, it's like a dark gray or dark blue. So I figured out after that, made me more comfortable that I'd be okay. But I do really, really, I really love it. And I'm really, as many mistakes as I've made, I'm really proud of it. I'm also wondering if maybe I need to knit it with a smaller needle. I'm doing just the recommended US 6, which is a 4mm. No, I didn't gauge swatch. I just don't. And I know that it's wrong, but I just don't. But I'm wondering if this is a little too loose. I mean, I'm sure when it's on skin, obviously it's not on skin, but I'm sure when it's on skin, you won't be able to see anything. But I don't know. Does it look that, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll see where I'm measuring with gauge. I know it's not washed or anything, but maybe I'll see where my gauge is measuring up now. But anyway, I'm very excited about this, but as equally excited, I am petrified and confused just at this point right now. I did try to read through the entire pattern before I got started. I at least tried to be responsible in that manner, but my mind was like a big old jumble, and I'm like, what? I did go through and highlight all my sizes though, at least, like the parentheses that are appropriate for the one I'm knitting. So we'll see where it goes. It's going to be slow going. I want it to be slow going. I want to just take it in pieces and just try not to get overwhelmed by the whole pattern. We'll see. So that's going strong. It's not going strong. It's going. And I'm very excited about it. And I can definitely see why people get addicted to texture knitting, cable knitting, and things like that, because it's like, it's so cool to see it all work up. It's so cool. So I did do that. I started that, and I'm really excited about it. And then lastly, and maybe this is like ridiculous that I'm so excited about some vanilla socks, but I have said before my love for Regia sock yarn and their Perfect collection. So I bought these. I talked about these last week. I bought these Regia Perfect. It is not this colorway. That's just the colorway that they have up on there. The colorway, if I still have a picture of it on my phone, I'll put it up here. But it's just red and white striped cuff with blue socks. Or yeah, blue leg, blue foot. It's called Seaside Blue is the colorway. And I bought them because they just reminded me of like vintage gym socks for some reason, or like jockey socks. I just loved them with the striped cuff and all of that. So I started knitting them yesterday, and because I had finished my other 2 socks, and I purposely was waiting to cast them on. I got the yarn last week. I was waiting to cast them on until I finished those other 2 socks because I just felt that was ridiculous to do that. So I was working on them last night while my son and I were watching a movie, and he pointed out, I don't know why I didn't even see this, but they're red, white, and blue. So he was like, those are USA socks. And I was like, oh my God, they are. Oh. Didn't even think about it. Didn't even cross my mind. I just like the colors. This is what the ball looks like. If you've never used Regia socks, I highly recommend them. This yellow is just like a guide yarn. You don't use it. You cut it out. So that's what these guys look like. But really, the real glory. Oh, sorry, my needles are a little scrubbity. This is what they are looking like thus far, and I could not be more obsessed with them. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. One of the things I love about the socks that I've made from them so far, this is only my 2nd pair, but they have a super, excuse me, long cuff. I love it so much. Anyway, I am doing these on Magic Loop. You might see this right here. And you might recall all of my previous videos that I have stated how much I despise Magic Loop and how it is my least favorite way to do it. The only time I've ever used Magic Loop are when I have had, they've both actually been for gift knits, and they are when I am having possible yarn chicken issues. So I want to make sure that they are exactly the same at the point in which I'm running out of yarn and things like that. But past that, like I use them for my grandma's Luna socks. I can't stand, it's fine if you love them. Like, I'm jealous that you love doing it, but I didn't. But I might be a convert now for single sock knitting. What happened with the Luna socks when I had to rip back? I don't remember. At some point, I was using the magic sock. I had one sock done and off the needle, and I was using the magic sock to finish up the 2nd sock. And then I threw the socks back on to do the afterthought heel as well. And I really loved doing it with a single sock at a time. So I think I am a lover of Magic Loop, just not 2 at a times. I just don't like, I feel like when I'm doing 2 at a time, I'm just working really slowly. And maybe I'm not, but I feel like I am. So it always just is like a bit of a dread to me. But I have been flying by with this guy, and I like the break from my preferred method, well, maybe previous preferred method, was a 9-inch circular. But my chow goos that I use, when I'm doing them for a long period of time, the needles start to hurt my fingertips, because the way I knit, it pokes them. And the way I move the yarn through it, it pokes them. So I can only use them for so long without having like physical pain on my fingertips. And I don't have that with this. And I feel like I really feel like I'm moving almost just as fast. I mean, I just did the leg this morning. So for me, I feel like this is really good. And yes, there was already an issue with these as well. Yes, they are only vanilla socks. And yes, the yarn literally tells you when to change and do whatever you're supposed to be doing. I don't know what happened. I was just so excited and so in the mode of like seeing these work up that once I got to the blue, which is supposed to be the leg, I was still just doing 2x2 ribbing. And yeah, I could have just made a ribbed sock, but that's not what I wanted to do. So I had to rip back. I probably had like over an inch of leg that was made in 2x2 ribbing. So I had to rip that all back. I don't know. I guess I just don't pay attention, obviously, to things. But no big deal. It doesn't deter me. I'm still super excited about them. So I don't want these to be a main focus because I do have a lot of other whips going on, but they kind of might be because I'm really obsessed with them. And I also know that another pair of socks I want to get cast on soon. Oh, excuse me, time for some coffee. Is the Cider House socks by Summerly Knits. I'm actually really torn because I've knit those once before and I love them so much. And the last colorway from the sock squad that I got from Farmer's Daughter Fiber, I feel like would just be so perfect for those socks. But I have this whole book of Summerly sock patterns that I want to work through too. So I feel a little neglectful, I guess, going back to a pattern that I've already worked up versus doing a new pattern from her book. So we'll see where I'm at with things. I usually have 2 socks going. I usually will have like a vanilla sock and then a patterned sock going, but I'm worried with having this Moby Sweater because that takes a lot of focus and I can't really it's hard to have noise going on in the background, like an audiobook or a TV show or whatnot, with this pattern going on, at least until I get like further into it, maybe past all like the shaping that needs done. Like maybe once I'm on the body, I'll feel better about it. But I don't know what my point was to that. But I think I'm just going to stick with these. No, I think I'm going to just stick with these 4 whips for right now. I have my Thursday Night Raglan. I have the Moby Sweater. I have the Seat Stitch Scarf. And then I have these vanilla socks. So I think I'm going to just stick with those for now. Because there's literally only so much time in the day. So, anywhoosie, that's what I have going on knit-wise. I already talked about some things going on around my family. We do have soccer starting tonight for my youngest as well, so that's fun. He loves soccer still. And thank goodness it's a beautiful day here because they're usually practicing and playing in horribly cold, rainy, muddy conditions. So I'm glad for that at least. So he's excited for that. Otherwise, TV. I finished a bunch of stuff. I watched there was a Casey Anthony docuseries on Disney Plus that I watched, and then there was another, of course it like lends you to like your next suggested thing. So I just started watching the next docuseries, which was on Pamela Smart, which is the case, oh, excuse me, gross, case that I had never heard of before, but I think it's because it happened, I was like just a wee child. I think it happened in the 80s, no, early 90s, like 90, 91, somewhere around there. So I watched that, and then I finished Welcome to Wrexham. Very sweet. I love that. I hope there's going to be more seasons of that. And then I finished on HBO Max, Sex Lives of College Girls. Is that what it's called? I think so. written and produced by Mindy Kaling. I finished that season 2. I do hope there's going to be a season 3. They left it with quite a, yeah, I hope there's a season 3. I guess I could Google if there's going to be, but anyway, that's all done. I have not really started anything new. My husband and I are still watching Schitt's Creek. I don't think there's been anything else new, really. I did start a series, but I don't know how I feel about it. On HBO Max, it was suggested after Sex Lives of College Girls, called I don't remember. The Hacks? The Hacks, I think Hacks. Yes, The Hacks. And it's with, I just remember her as Charlene from Designing Women. Obviously that character was from a really, really long time ago, but she's one of the main characters in it. So I started watching that, but I was also doing the Moby Sweater at the same time, so I didn't really super pay attention to it. So I have no opinion about it yet, but I'll probably keep watching it. And then reading, I finished a book. I started and finished, I think, from the last episode. It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. I had read the previous one, It Ends With Us, a lot of years ago, and then I just picked that up because I had also finished the first court book in the series by Sarah J. Maas. So I was waiting for the second one to come. So I did that. I really love Colleen Hoover. She's one of my favorite writers. So I have no qualms about her story at all. It was great to listen to. I loved the ending. I loved it. I loved both of those books. So I recommend both of them. And then surprisingly, when I was finishing that up, the second book of the series of Sarah J. Maas's came up, which is so weird because when I put it on hold a few weeks ago, there was like a 24-week wait. So I don't know what happened, but the audiobook became available. So I started listening to that yesterday or the day before, and I don't want to stop listening to it. I just want to have it on all the time. I'm super into it. So I have that going on right now. That's called A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm never going to be able to remember all of the courts names of the books, but anyway, so that's the second book of that. Love it. I cannot even wait for it to be over because I just want to know what happens. So that's all I have going on. That's it. That's enough, right? So yeah, anyway, I'm going to keep up with my whips. It would be super amazing if I had something finished by next week. I don't know what it would be. The socks maybe, or the scarf. The scarf really should not take long. I hope, but we'll see. Or maybe I'll have 17 new cast-ons. I mean, I don't know. You never know. You just never know. But you guys have an amazing week. I hope some of you got to see the eclipse yesterday. I don't know if anybody that's watching is in also the path of totality and got to experience that yesterday. It was super cool. But otherwise, I hope you all are doing really well. I hope the weather is amazing wherever you are, and I hope you have a phenomenal week. Until next time.